Hello and welcome to this World of Tanks tutorial. My name is Maxwell and today we're going to be taking a look at the map Sand River and the routes and tactics that you're going to want to use as a light tank scout. So as always, before we get started, we're going to take a quick look at a map of Sand River. As you can see, it's a fairly open map and the options for a scout are rather limited. Now although it has two lines coming from each base for the scout, you're going to want to bear in mind that 9 times out of 10 you're going to want to take only one of those, and we will cover which one when we get into the guide proper. As you can see, the enemy's artillery tends to stick inside the base or very close to the edge of the base when camping. It's very rare that you'll find an artillery piece not in or around the base. The tank destroyers tend to congregate on the ridges which surround the base, as you'll see more of when we get into the guide proper. And then again, you can see the heavy and medium tanks generally take a route on hugging sort of the far right and the far left flank. You can see there is a big red dotted line which leads to the village in the centre from either base, and that is because again it's a bit of a wild card area. You'll find that you could either find a medium or heavy tank in moving to that area, but I will go into a tiny bit more detail in the guide proper about that you'll find that the people who move to that area either don't know the map very well and so aren't very sure, or they are the top of the table tanks, so they know they have the hit points and the armor to be able to survive in there, because it's not a very healthy place to stand. So the first route we're going to cover when spawning at base number 1 is going to be the right hand flank. Now 9 times out of 10 this is the route you're going to want to take, and depending on whereabouts in your base you spawn, you can either take this road here or the one up there. It doesn't really matter, they both get you to the same place. So what you're going to want to do is get over this sand dune here, because if you go along that road then you're most likely going to get destroyed by a tank destroyer, and that is fairly useless to your team. So you want to get over here as quickly as possible and get to this corner that I am aiming at now. And all you're going to want to do is just be very careful you don't overshoot it, because what you want to do is come in nice and tight with this sand dune and just pop out and have that kind of look and then pop back. And you should highlight everybody who's coming up that area. To be honest, it's probably faster rather than backing up with the turn and circle of the chaffee to just spin round and drive away like that. Now by this point you should now have some medium and heavy tanks moving up this area here to support you. So what you want to do is they're going to want to take this position here, which is going to be the best for them. And what you want to do is just pick a point on this sand dune and pop over the top to reveal them. Don't go too far, don't go far enough to have a shot or you'll get destroyed. Just pop over the top and spot them, and then just move back down. And then just move along, pick a different point on the sand dune, pop over the top, reveal them and pop back down. And then just rinse and repeat. Basically just pick a different point on the sand dune, pop over the top, have a look, and then drive back into cover. Now you want to change position every time, because basically as a light tank you are a very easy target, because people in this game just love getting kills. So they'll pick on you because you are an easy target. So if they see you pop over the hill, what they'll do is they'll focus on that spot, and the second you pop your head over the same spot again, they'll take you out. So you just want to keep moving. Now another added bonus is when you pop over the top here, enemy tank destroyers love to hide on this ridge here. The problem is that bush is shaped in such a way that it doesn't really offer very good stealth. So if there is an enemy tank destroyer hiding there, you should be able to reveal them every time. I know it's quite a distance, but you should be able to reveal them every time you pop over the hill, because they're so badly stealthed and silhouetted against the landscape. So your artillery will be able to have a field day with taking those out. Now, as I've always said, if nobody's really supporting you and the enemy tanks push this area, then feel free to abandon this position and fall back. If they rush this area quite quickly and you can't make it to the safety of the buildings, then just try and take cover behind this mountain here, and hopefully your line of defense along those trees there that I'm highlighting should be able to take them out. Now moving on, if you're fairly confident about your ability and say if you're sort of middle of the table rank wise, or if you have quite a few medium tanks backing you up, what you can do is rather than stopping at this sand dune, if you just plough on past here. Now because you're only exposed for such a short time, you should be able to make it across there and down at this little dip without getting shot, unless the other person is a crack shot, and then you're probably going to get hurt pretty badly. But if you've got some medium tanks in support, then this is the route that you want to take, and just stay in this little area here because it offers good protection from the enemy's defense, which is along that ridge. And what you want to do is just move to this area here, have a pop out, and you should be able to spot any defenders along the ridge there. And every now and then you can spot one of their tank destroyers, sorry, not tank destroyers, SPGs hanging out in that area, or if they've decided to move into this area. Now if you're coming along here and you get spotted, or if there's a couple of medium tanks, then what you want to do is, as you're moving in, just pop yourself over the sand dune to provide yourself some cover. Basically what you want to do is just try and give them a run around until your support turns up. So, and as they crest the sand dune, you want to just fall back and pop back over the other side, and basically just always try and keep some cover between yourself and them until your backup arrives, or you can frustrate them into making a mistake and you can take them out. So once that area has been cleared and you've won, or if you decide to take this route as a rush, then what you want to do is just progress on in this direction and sneak in round the back of the enemy's base. Sometimes you may need to stop just here to provide yourself some cover from a defender which may be camping out there. Every now and then you'll find an artillery piece hiding in that bush there, thinking that they're clever. That'll be an easy kill for you. And what you want to do is just move into the enemy base. If there's any tank destroyers hiding, just try and strafe them and take them out. And then 9 times out of 10 you'll find that because of the way this map's laid out, because it's very open, the enemy's artillery pieces will just stay directly in the base. So they'll either be hidden here, there behind that wall, or here behind these rocks, and they should provide an easy kill for you. And now the second route you should take as a scout spawning at base number 1 is going to be down the left hand flank. Now this route I wouldn't recommend very often. I would only really recommend it if you are near the top of the table, as this is a fairly aggressive route to take and there isn't very much cover for you as a scout. I wouldn't recommend going through the village as it doesn't really provide much cover because all of the buildings are destructible. The only time I would recommend going in there is if you are desperate for some cover, if you're under heavy fire, or if there is a very slow moving heavy tank in there and you know you can strafe them and pick up an easy kill. So the plan is basically just to head over these sand dunes as quickly as possible. Don't be tempted to drive around them to save a bit of speed. What you want to do is you want to be going down into these dips because they will offer good cover from fire. Now around about here you should start picking up people along these hills. If you don't spot anybody, then fantastic, you're probably onto a winner. And you want to just stay down in this dip here, and as you're uncovering people, fingers crossed your artillery should be following you and hopefully offering some kind of defense and helping you out a little bit. Now you want to normally the enemy comes along that route there, so you want to keep this sand dune between you and them, and if you get to here and get spotted by the enemy, you just basically want to try and circle around them as best you can like this, having a couple of pot shots, and then before they can get a shot off at you, you want to just duck behind a sand dune, and then as they're trying to track you, just use your superior agility and maneuverability to just keep circling around them. If there are a lot of enemies here and you don't have any support and it's just you, then what you want to do is just duck over this sand dune here and just get away as quickly as you possibly can. This is the time that I would recommend getting into the town, and luckily this sand dune here should offer you good protection, and then you can just duck into the town there and be safe. Now another possibility is, we'll just head back to the point up here, another possibility is if you encounter quite a lot of the enemy and you are under quite sustained fire, rather than heading towards the town there, which will only offer you a small amount of protection for a short while because like I said all the buildings are destructible, is just head on to your objective regardless. A couple of little dunes there will provide cover from indirect fire. Get this dune between you and the enemy as quickly as possible, and then just head down here. Sometimes you'll find a tank destroyer lurking just there. If you're lucky, you can just pop around, strafe him and get a kill. And as I said in the previous route, enemy's artillery is normally located in this area here, or towards the back of the base, and the tank destroyers should all be lined up around there. So fingers crossed, you should have taken those by surprise, and you should be able to get a couple of strafing kills on those guys. The first route we're going to cover when spawning at base number 2 is going to be the right hand flank. Now, unlike other maps, it's not exactly a mirror image of its counterpart spawning at the other base. What you want to do is, regardless of whereabouts in the base you want to spawn, you're going to want to take this back route out of here. And the reason you want to do that is because of one of the routes we showed when spawning at base number 1, is you want to just offer your team some protection against, well, what is known as a backdoor rush. I know it doesn't sound very nice, but there it is. You want to basically take this route so that if there are any of the enemy's fast scouts taking this route here, you will get an early warning that they are coming, and hopefully some of your tanks should be able to turn around and do something about it, or your artillery. Even if you get destroyed, you can get destroyed with a sense of satisfaction knowing that you went to your grave doing your job absolutely spot on. Now, what you're going to want to do is, if there is nobody here, is just get yourself onto this little ridge here and have a quick look, and you should be able to spot somebody there. Once you spot them, I've gone too high up that ridge, as you can see, is just fall back and offer yourself some cover from direct fire. Now, don't be happy just to fall back and then sit still, because you will have been spotted in return, and the enemy's artillery will be looking at you. So not only do you want to fall back, but you want to fall back and change position as well, because relocation is the key to survival of a scout. Because let's face it, artillery is going to be aiming at you because you're the one who's most likely to be able, you're the one who's most likely going to destroy them. After you've relocated, have another pop up, have a quick look, reveal who's there, and then again pull yourself back, use the ridge as cover, and then relocate once more. There's plenty of relocation in this map, either when spawning at base 1 or base 2. Now, don't just relocate between those two, because that's fairly predictable, and let me tell you, there are some artillery players out there who are fairly smart and know what they're doing. So always have a third and hopefully a fourth place to relocate to. So this one, just have a quick look, spot who you can. Sorry about the bad camera work there. Spot who you can and then fall back. Possibly miss out the first position that you fell back to, and maybe go straight for the second one, just move between those 3 points randomly. If this area is pretty uncontested, like if there's nobody, if there aren't a load of heavy tanks camping there, then what you can do is move up to this position here. You know, even if there are a few heavy tanks there, then getting to this position can be very advantageous, because it offers you fantastic cover from indirect fire from artillery. And then what you can do is a lot easier. You can just pop out, have a look, and then reverse back. No need for relocation, as this rock wall here will provide all the cover that you need from the enemy's artillery. Now, fingers crossed, with your fantastic spotting help, you should be able to take out whoever's camping on that ridge there. And then what you do is you want to just move forward to this position here, because most likely you're going to have someone camping just around this corner here, or behind these rocks and these rocks. So again, pop your head out, have a look, pop back. The thing you got to remember is, because you're going uphill here, you're not going to be able to get a shot. As you can see, my reticule won't go any lower than that, so you're not going to be able to get a shot at any of them. So all you're going to want to do is just purely spot and then get back into cover. If there's nobody there and your teammates start heading around the corner, then you just want to lead the charge and push forward. Now, you want to make this move as quickly as possible, because along that ridge there will be all the tank destroyers and heavy tanks camping, and just be mindful that there could be somebody camped there. So what you want to do is just head to this set of rocks here. Don't crash quite as heavily as I did, and these rocks will provide good cover from direct fire from up there. Now, what you want to do is you want to just shuffle backwards and forwards randomly like this, because these rocks will not offer protection from artillery fire. And as quickly as you can, so you don't want to hang around there too long. Hopefully their artillery will be focused in a different area. Just move forward to this village here and take some cover. And again, Just use these buildings as cover. They may be destructible, but a big one like that will take 5 or 6 shots before it goes down, so you have plenty of time. So just take cover here. Sometimes you'll find a tank destroyer hanging around in this area. Just have a couple of shots at him, try and strafe him to death. Using this building as cover, just pop yourself out, have a look there. If there's anybody camping, have a shot at them and pull back. Now, if you know that they're focusing on somebody else, or if there's nobody up there at all, then you just want to head into the enemy's base. 9 times out of 10, the enemy's artillery will be camping in that area over there. But what you want to do, don't make a beeline straight for them. What you want to do is use the ridge as cover like this, and then head up behind these rocks here. Because if you just make a beeline straight for the enemy's artillery, which incidentally will be 9 times out of 10 camped there and there. If you make a beeline for them, then anybody camping on this hill can just turn around and have free reign and blow the hell out of you. So you want to just head up, use this cover here, have a quick look, see if there's anybody about. If there is, try and take them out or light them up so that your allies can take them out. Once they are dealt with, then you want to just move across here as quickly as you can, get to the area where the enemy's artillery will be camped. Try and use dunes as cover as always. So 9 times out of 10 they'll be camped here, over there, and simply here. So pick yourself up a couple of kills taking out their artillery, and hopefully that should win you the game. The second route when spawning at base number 2 is going to be down, from your point of view, the left hand flank. And again, this is the route that you only want to take if you want to play aggressively, if you're near the top of the table, or if you're wanting to just rush directly to the enemy's base. Don't be tempted to go down the road and into the village, because basically only people who don't know the map very well, or people who are top of the table and know they can survive in there, will take that position there, because quite frankly it's just a rather useless and dangerous place for a light tank scout to be. You don't gain much intelligence from there, and your life expectancy is very short. So what you want to do is just, again, almost a mirror image of when spawning at base number 1. You want to just head all the way to this red line and just try and follow it. Now again, you do want to go up and down the sand dunes. You don't want to try and dodge them, because they will provide fantastic cover from direct fire. Now normally around about this point you'll find a heavy tank maybe here, or medium tank rather, sorry, heavy's not fast enough. Heavy tanks will be more sort of here by this point. So you want to just circle around them using the sand dunes as cover, have a couple of shots, and then just try and get to a little bit of safety, like so. Now this little sand dune here offers good protection from the village, so you're pretty safe behind that, and these sand dunes here offer good cover from fire from that direction. So you basically, if you're clever about it, you can circle around this area all day, having some good shots at heavy and medium tanks. It does require some practice, but once you've got the technique down, then you are fairly lethal. Now if you're just wanting to rush, then you just want to push on past those sand dunes. Stay in quite tight to the edge here, because normally there'll be a tank camp just there, so you want to push past those as quickly as possible and head on to this area here. Now if there is somebody camped there, then basically the only advice I can give is cross your fingers and hope that they are a bad shot, because there's nothing you can really do. So you want to come in through the base from the back route. Sometimes you'll find a tank destroyer or artillery piece camped there. Now you don't want to just drive directly into the base. What you want to do is you want to just pause there. A word of warning though, you only really want to pause there if you're not being followed. If you're being followed by anybody, then just, yes, press on directly into the enemy's base. But if you're not, then just pop your head round, have a look, because the artillery might be there. If they are, then you want to take cover directly behind them and just start opening up on them. And the reason you want to take cover behind them is so that none of their allies will be able to get a clear shot on you without destroying them. And if they do destroy them, then they've done your job for you, which is great. Now once you've taken those out, or if there's nobody there, then have a quick look over there, which is the second most likely place for the artillery to be camped. This rock here, if you're careful about it, it can provide you complete protection from that ridge there if anybody turns around. And If they do turn around and start firing you, then you do want to quickly get on the message there. Don't just type gibberish like I did, but get on the message there and tell your allies coming from the right hand flank that you have the attention of the tank destroyers and base defense, because it means that they will be able to push on into the base totally unopposed as they are shooting at you, rather than who the real threat is. And being directly in the enemy's base, you will obviously be uncovering all of the targets for your artillery to destroy, so you'll be racking up credits and experience for that. So once the ridge has been cleared by either your allies' artillery or your advancing heavy and medium tanks from the right hand flank, then you just want to move in and capture the enemy's base. Now the problem with doing a base capture on Sand River on either base 1 or base number 2 is that there isn't much protection. There's no sort of bushes to hide in or rocks to take cover in, so what you want to do is just keep moving if you know that there could be enemies nearby. Now I don't just mean move around in a complete circle all the time, because that's very predictable and the enemy will be able to get a shot on you eventually. So you want to just keep moving in random patterns, and fingers crossed you can get a base capture. Thank you for watching this World of Tanks tutorial. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, then you can go ahead and like or favourite this video, and don't forget you can subscribe to this channel for further World of Tanks tutorials, tips and guides in the future. Thank you.